Yeah, we got a panic call a couple minutes ago. Fred and I were getting ready for the show, and I got a phone call, put it on speaker. There was Dan Duran. And Dan Duran, explain yourself.
Well, last evening, I was working down the road here, helping another guy out with his trailer. And I left the ignition keys on, and the lights were on, the headlights. And so that meant that the battery drained down. I didn't realize it. So I came back here after I locked up the car. And then this morning I realized that all the gear, studio gear, is still in the car and it's locked. And then I couldn't find the key for the car. And there was a mad scramble and I've looked everywhere. And in the end,
where was it?
It was where Lisa hangs keys. For some reason, I put keys on top of the speaker and she puts it on a coat hook. And I just ended up putting it on the coat hook. I don't know why, because just... And then I didn't think to look in the obvious spot today.
Of all the things that can happen to a human being, that is one of the worst, when you can't find your keys. It really is. That feeling of helplessness.
Yes.
When I first moved into this building that I'm in, that has 5 floors, it happened like within a week of me moving in where I couldn't find my keys, and I was going up and down all these stairs. And I decided then, that's when I actually had keys, that I would always put them in a certain place, and it was in a little dish above the microwave. But because I thought, I'm not going to go through this again, where I'm going through all these rooms on 5 floors.
Yeah, and generally I have that rule: the keys, wallet, phone, and Lisa added good attitude. When you leave. Keys, wallet, phone, good attitude. That's what
you have to have a good attitude.
Yeah.
She actually says keys, wallet, phone, and your good attitude. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah. And, so... But the thing is that goes through my mind when you lose a key like that is the cost of the key fob. Just it's like a hassle and the cost that it's going to take to get through this dark period of not having the key.
Yes, I know.
Because you can't start the car without the key fob. Yeah. This is so there's an IC thing in there, and so it's a hunk of metal.
Fred, do you have any questions for Dan Duran?
No, other than he touches on one of the great scams of our time. This this whole key fob thing. I compare it to the hearing aid scam that old people have to go through. I mean, the technology we have today, those key fobs, what's involved to make them work would just be mere cents, and yet they charge like $300, $400 for them.
Yeah,
there's another scam I want to talk about too.
Of course, what is the technology involved?
It's just a little, no more than your TV clicker.
So why is it so expensive?
Because why are any auto parts expensive? You know what I mean?
I'm sincerely asking. I don't know. Like isn't there something in the technology of those that would make it like that has to sync up with the computer in your car?
Oh yeah, but it's just like your credit card.
It's a little wave. Yeah, it's like
it's a chip on. It's a little tiny chip that it fell out of mine once, and I was crawling around on the floor with my magnifying glass looking for it. It's smaller than half your smallest fingernail.
What, the chip inside your fob?
It's just one of those collusionary things where the auto industry got together, and I'm sure they do, because I know what happens. How else do you explain it? Because they're not worth... Even if it was like $100 or $75, they would be overpriced. But again, something goes wrong with your car, some goofy little plastic part or something, and then they give you a price on to replace the part, and it's like outrageous. It's just how the industry works on service and replacement, not on sales.
Yeah, right? So it's part of that. I mean, I don't have one of the many things about the Tesla that is sort of weird to get used to is the fact that there is no key. That you never turn the car on, and as long as you have your phone with you, like I have mine paired to my phone. I also have a little credit card size, like if I lost, if I didn't have my phone with me, I could open and start the car. But the fact that it's never, as long as I'm near it, the car is working. It's weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Another interesting thing about it, like I have the push button start.
Right.
On my fob, there's an actual key that comes out that you can open the door. But they didn't think enough to put that on the ignition column, that in case your fob's done, that key would work to, start the ignition of your car. They're smart. So we'll let you in your car, but we're not going to let you start it without paying us $400 for a fob.
Yeah, that's how they. You know what? That's what you should put on the headstone of your grave. It should just be ... That's how they get you.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. I have that key on my Acura. I know the one you mean, where the physical key comes out of the fob and you can open the door. But I don't. There was no physical key. Most cars don't have a physical key that starts the ignition anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And you wonder if it's more secure, the actual metal key, if that's actually more secure than, whatever they're doing now, because they can clone it and, bad guys can get into these cars, it seems pretty easily.
That's right. If they're worth $400 and the technology is so high, how can a guy wave a wand in front of your front door and get you? No,
exactly. Are they like? I don't know what it's been. It's been a couple years since I had that Acura, and it had a fob, and I had a couple extra. I had one extra one, and I don't know what they would have been to replace. What was your other thing before? Do you want to start the show and then you can tell us some other scam that you're upset about?
You talk about that feeling of losing your keys. Yes. Another one is, and it happens to me periodically, I leave my credit card somewhere, and I hate that feeling of being somewhere and realized, where's the credit card? And then knowing where I left it and then jumping back in the car and driving back and, do you have my credit card? And they open a drawer and they give it to you. And that happens to me too much. Once I did it in Phoenix, and I was in Glendale and forgot and it was like a 45-minute drive. And
I haven't done that in a while, but I have actually left. I don't know if you remember this. I did it once in Mexico, and I've done it some other time. But the last time I did it was in Mexico, where I took money out of a bank machine and then just left my card there.
Yeah,
left it.
That too.
Oh, I've done that a couple times.
But didn't you have a good ending to that story?
Well, no, I've had a good ending where I came back.
You left the money.
I left the money. I took the credit card.
That's one thing I'd never do.
Do you know that story, Dan? That I went to a bank machine, whatever. It was at in a retail outlet, could have been a 7-Eleven, I don't know. And I took the card but left the money. But I came back and the money was still there.
Sir, it's still there?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
See.
That's all timing, eh?
But to your credit card conundrum, ever since I've got the so at first I put my wallet on my phone, so I have a Google Wallet on my phone. Do you know what that is, Dan? I know you don't do anything.
Yeah, Google. No, I have one of my cards is on the phone, but I never.
And then I have it on my watch.
All mine are in my wallet.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was one step for me that I had never done until quite recently, within a few months. And then very quickly after I had it on my phone, then I got that new Google Watch where I can put the wallet on my watch, and now that's how I pay for everything.
No, I understand that, but do you still carry the credit cards physically?
I do not. Here's the weird thing is now I keep the credit cards with my ID in my car. I don't have it on my physical person anymore.
So
and that's a strange.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's a strange feeling, not walking around with that little. I have like a little wallet, a credit card wallet.
No, I know, and it's brilliant. And I found out a couple of weeks ago when I left my Canadian Tire credit card at Canadian Tire. That you can quickly go online and just sort of not cancel it, just suspend it. Like you yourself with one click can make it so the card's invalid if somebody's trying to use it, which is pretty cool. It gives you the time to try and find it. And then ultimately, if you cancel it, within a couple of days, they mail you a new one, which is very convenient. Plus, Delise and I, we're all on all the accounts together, so you can actually go in and pause the one that's missing and then use the other one at the same time. So it's pretty convenient what they've done in those cases. But as far as the other rip-off thing I want to talk about after
we'll start the show. Okay, I can't wait.
Starting the show at all.
I just can't wait for more
energy.
Negative.
Why is that negative?
That's how they get you.
It's not negative.
I want to get back to Dan, though. So you were helping somebody out and you left your lights on.
Yes.
In your driveway?
No, in the driveway down there. And
So
it
how
was
did you
just,
get from there back to your trailer if the battery died?
Well, I left it there. I walked. It's not that far.
Oh, you left the car where it was.
Yeah, it's a 2-minute walk to the car. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's the part I didn't understand.
yeah.
All right. Well,
anyway.
we're glad it all worked out. I'm sorry you had that. I hate that feeling, like I said, where you're like trying to find them and you're frustrated and you're like, where did I leave them? They've got to be here somewhere.
How could
Doll
I possibly
never-
do this to me again? Yeah.
I'm always saying, where are my keys? Where are my keys? Well, where'd you leave them? And Doll never misplaces her keys because she's always sort of conscious of what she's doing all the time. And I'm very
No, I know.
envious of that.
No, I know.
She would come in, take her keys. I'm putting them there, and then next thing, where are my keys? Well, where did I put them?
Yeah.
And I'm like, where did I put mine? She says, well, you don't just come in and just lay them down anywhere. And then I get aggravated that she's chastising me for something so obvious.
Well, I'm surprised, though, you don't have a system. You're a systems guy. You don't have a place. Don't you have, like, right inside your front door there at the Brampton Mansion?
Yes, I do, and I don't mind. But, sometimes you just walk in, you got a package, you got whatever, and you just sort of walk down and put everything down on the spot, like on the counter or something, and then somebody
You're not
moves it,
present.
like-
You're not. That's what it is.
You're
It's
not present.
And Doll is
And that's-
present.
She is.
She's there.
And see,
She's. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, and she, I don't mind hanging them just inside the front door because no one is going to wave a wand in my front door to steal my 10-year-old car, right? So
That's right. No one's trying to get the key up. I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. Other than the fact that, so you can see when I got here 8 years ago, whenever it was, and having lost the keys just the one time, and racing up and down the stairs and unpacking under. I was like, that's never going to happen again. I didn't want it to because easily it could because I'm often not very conscious.
Well, running up and down those stairs, too, in the early days, maybe that's what led to your heart problems.
That's right. All right, Dan, are you ready? Do you have all the information you need?
I do.
All right,
I have it ready
get,
to go. Yeah.
Let's get started then.
This episode of the legendary Humble and Fred Show is being broadcast to the world from our state-of-the-art Humble and Fred studio in Toronto, from our Brampton facility featuring dew on lush grass, and a trailer in the Kawarthas with the Dennis Duranis bust. I'm Dan Duran, broadcasting live from the Julie Mazzoni Zoom Theater and brought to you by the Retirement Sherpa, the Chambers Plan, Bodog, our newest sponsor, Ridley Funeral Home, and Kelsey's Original Roadhouse. And now, here are two men who love Halloween parties as long as they don't have to dress up or go to them. It's Humble and Fred.
That's right. If you see us dressed up as at a Halloween party, call the authorities. We've been kidnapped.
On that note, I was golfing yesterday with our buddy Jamie Watson, and he told me, it's funny, he said, oh, me and Tracy, we went to a Halloween party on the weekend. I said, did you dress up? And he goes, yeah. And I said, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Really?
How does that
You
happen?
went to one?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, a buddy of mine invited us, and Tracy sort of got excited. So we went as the characters from Bob's Burgers or something, and I thought, oh, my God. I admire that.
Oh, yeah.
But he's still a young man.
Well, I was going to say, he's not in his 60s yet, is he?
No, I don't think so. I'm not sure.
I think I don't know what kind of violation that would be, but as I said, in case you didn't hear it, if you ever saw the two of us at a Halloween party and we're dressed up, something's gone terribly wrong. Dan, on the other hand, I can see Dan going along with one of Lisa's capers.
Yeah.
There was a month ago, there was some photo evidence of Dan already dressed up in a Halloween kind of mode.
Porch pirates.
You
where
were-
we go around.
yes.
Go around the city and collect food from people's porches.
I just wonder how that. What are the conversations that would lead? I don't know. I guess if one of my kids wanted me to do it, I might.
See, Lisa loves to dress up. She loves that kind of thing.
Oh, does
So,
she?
you
What
know,
else?
and you like it too.
dress up? Do you get a little dressed up there, dance around to the left?
Listen, Lisa wants to get dressed up.
Oh yeah, Dan's like, I'll put on
right now.
Dan's like, you want a show? You want a show? I'll put on a show. I'll put on a show for you. Well, is Jamie still sweet Jamie still a guy in his 50s? Maybe that's what guys in their 50s are doing.
Maybe. Yeah. But he said, and you do things for your wife. He said his wife was quite excited about going and an idea for, costumes. So they did it. And he said he had a good time. He said there was some very interesting, you always go to those things and there's somebody that's gone way beyond
that's right.
reason with their costumes. And I think he said there was a guy there that had a costume that looked like he was carrying himself or something.
Yeah. People get very, very carried away. Well, that's good. Listen, that's good. Maybe they've got it right. That's what I like to say when.
Oh, of course they do.
Maybe they've got it right, as opposed to us who just live in a world of misery and they're scamming us and negativity. Maybe.
All right, scam.
Wait. We'll get to it. It's like when I see people dancing in public, and I get uncomfortable, and I'm like, well, maybe they've figured it out. Maybe they're the ones who aren't self-conscious, who are living in the moment, who know where their keys are.
That's right. Yep. You're right. You're right, Howie. Attitude is everything. That's what they say.
So today, of course, it's emails and Dan Duran's news and doing our fourth showing again for 2 weeks in a row, the 4-banger. It's a lot. Banger number 4, it's a lot. But, hey, we're here for you. That's what we're here for. We're here for the people, as you know, Dan.
Yeah, I do.
Well, what is the latest thing that's this latest scam?
Well, let me preface this by saying, number one, gentlemen, I don't mean to be negative. I just, you look in the news and things, get your interest, and then you realize, here's a sign of the times, and it's not fair, and it troubles me because you can understand places wanting money, but why have we entered this era of just gouge? Anyway, here's the deal. The Taylor Swift, when she comes to Canada, Toronto and Vancouver, the Toronto Marriott on any given night is $240 a night. The nights that Taylor Swift is here, $2,000 a night.
Wow.
Come on. Seriously, what are you doing to people? Vancouver, average hotel room $300 a night. When Taylor Swift is there, $3,000.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Well, it's just not fair, and it's just not being a good citizen. That's what bothers me about it. And I understand, of course, hotel rooms raise their prices during heavy periods. But come on.
Yeah, but that's a lot. I mean, and who can pay I guess once you're here, but who could pay $2,000 a night for a hotel?
Well, some people, out of town people that bought Taylor Swift tickets and were very excited about coming have now had to sell their tickets off because they can't afford the accommodations. Even a VRBO in right near BC Place in Vancouver, within walking distance of BC Place, Sleep 6, with the fees, $10,000 a night. So,
and by the way, just for those dates, the dates that coincide with the concert.
Yes.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
I don't know. It just disappoints me. It's
is there some rule or law about doing something about? You'd think there would be.
Well, the law is
that's
the law is take it or leave it, pay it or don't. I guess that's the law.
Yeah, I mean, it is outrageous. And again, I can't imagine anybody who can afford that. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that. There are people that could afford it, obviously, even if it wasn't a Taylor Swift concert. But how is somebody who's coming here for that? When is that concert, by the way?
I don't even know. I saw the dates.
I think isn't it this fall? Isn't it
I think so. Soon, I guess. Yeah.
I saw this unrelated to that story of the hotel rooms, but how much money she brings into the local economy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess so. Just hotel rooms alone.
Yeah, but that aside, I mean, again, this story I heard was without the $2,000 a night hotel prices, but it's like $250 million to the local economy every time she visits a city.
And that's fantastic. And as I say, it's no different than a parking lot. near the Dome or the Scotiabank Center, it's usually $20, but on game nights it's like $40.
Yeah.
Sucks, but that's the way the system works. And as I say here, if it's $240 on a regular night, if it was $500, you'd go, oh fuck, it doubled the price. Oh well, yeah, I can handle that. But that's another problem with this system of entertainment nowadays. More and more, it's just for people with money, be it going to a hockey game, a basketball game, a Taylor Swift concert. I mean, the vast majority of people out there can't even consider it now,
I'm not sure if you remember, I was, or maybe it wasn't you I was talking to about this, but the Ryder Cup is going to Bethpage Black in New York next year. New York City. Yeah. So the New York area. Did we talk about this? So normally you go to a PGA Tour event, it's probably a couple $100 for the day or whatever the tickets are. They're a normal amount. They're charging people $750. And this a similar sort of outrage in the world of golf for ticket prices, $750 to $1,000 a day for passes. Yes,
wow,
a day for passes. It's ridiculous.
Well, it cuts Joe Average out of the equation.
Oh, absolutely,
which is sad. Speaking of our buddy Jamie, I was talking about him. He knows a guy that he buys a couple of pairs of Leaf tickets from every year. And I said to him, I'd love to take Johnny Slapshot to a Leaf game, but it's so expensive. And anyway, I said, if I could get somebody that would sell them to me at face value, up near the top or whatever, I would love to do that. But even that, like a pair of tickets, face value, sitting up near the rack, it's like $350 for a pair. Now, I would do that because I can, and it would be a special occasion.
Sure.
But just think about seriously, all the that's not even part of your world. Like when I grew up, every one of my friends every so often went to a Leaf game. You know what I mean? It was just part of what you did.
Well, because the general admission was for general public.
That's right.
The general
so that's gone now.
Yeah, but what's gone is kind of like when you and I were kids, and Dan too. Well, no, when Dan was kids, they were still trading like beaver pelts for admission.
Yeah,
that's outrageous.
Dan used to have to take something off his trap line to pay for salt and sugar and shit that they.
What, you want a foxtail now too?
That's right. When the local Shakespearean band would come through town, But when we were kids, there wasn't the tiered level. There wasn't the tiering.
No.
Of ticket prices. So the difference, there was it's inverted. It used to be most of the people in the arena or stands were general admission, and there were a few boxes for rich people. But it's inverted now.
Yes.
Here's the thing: even $350, even if you're an average person making an average salary, that's a lot of money.
You can't carve out that money for a hockey game. You just
for once in a night, once it's a lot of dough.
And then it's plus because if you take a kid, you want to buy them something, you got to park, or you could take transit.
Well, no,
blah,
but it's
blah, blah. But
by the time
outrageous.
It's a $450 pushing $500 night coming downtown to watch a hockey game.
It's just sad. When Melanie was young, I remember like Backstreet Boys and
Backstreet Back.
You would buy tickets for her to go to that concert, and it was just sort of reasonable. Like I don't even remember thinking, oh, that's super expensive. It was just, okay, 3 tickets to the Backstreet Boys, $150, okay. And I know that's 30 years ago. I get it. But the ratios have changed, man.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
it's
you're for
just
sure.
different.
No, you're for sure. Well, and that's the thing is that it used to be that. I remember when again, this goes back a number of years. I remember when I first heard that a band was going on tour charging $100 a ticket.
Yeah.
And you know what that band was?
Eagles.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It was like, that was sort of a line that up till then, to your point,
that was the red line. That was the red line.
Well, it was a line of demarcation that definitely stuck out in everyone's. It was part of the culture for a while that they were going to go on tour and the tickets were going to be $100. Now, again, what would that be in 2024 money? $2.50, maybe $3. I don't know. Maybe it's more, but it definitely stuck out. And after that, it just kind of the dominoes of ticket prices.
You know what another byproduct of all this is?
What?
Well, if I spend that on a hotel room, everything better be perfect. It better be clean. It better be everything I want. Because, listen, if you're going to go to those lengths to gouge me or charge me, I'm going to go to every length to make sure the product is proper. And just to give you a quick example, yesterday playing golf afterwards, we went into the bar for beers. And we ordered 4 pints of beer for the 4 of us. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. I couldn't reach over there. So she puts them up, the 4 beers, and each one of them was at a different level. And a couple were down and a couple of big heads. And it wasn't just me. Collectively, the 4 of us went and looked and thought, well, wait a minute. She hasn't even filled those glasses up. So we said to her, you're going to top those up, aren't you? And she did, but she had no intention of doing it. And it was just interesting. And I think that comes from, if I'm going to pay $11 for that now, I want a full glass of beer, thank you. Where years ago, when that stuff like that was priced reasonably, you might not even think about that, you know? But it was like, no, top those up. Thank you, at $11.
No, I get that. I think there's two things, though. I mean, again, I don't want to, at some point we're going to have to move on. But I mean, I think our what's that?
No, you're right.
Because what you said was when things were priced reasonably, there's definitely a disconnect. That's the example I used of the Eagles. I think there's also a disconnect in our memories, our collective memories of what reasonable used to be versus what people are used to paying now. Because to my kids, your kids, Colton, their sense of what things cost are different than ours, because all they've known, for the most part, and what they know now, is what things cost now. So there's a little bit of that built in. There's a little bit of that baked into this conversation, is what I'm saying.
Yes, I agree. But at the same point, I bet you just prior to COVID at that golf course, that same glass of beer would have been between $6 and $7. That's just 4 years
I don't know, but I'll tell you, the $2,000 a night.
Yeah.
If you're slapping down your card for $2,000 a night accommodations, forget about it being clean. There better be hors d'oeuvres. There better be.
Yes.
There better be. Like, what? How do you look somebody in the eye and say your night? Last night it was $350, but tonight it's $2,000. That is ridiculous. And the companies that are what was the original? Was it Marriott? You said.
Yeah, Toronto Marriott.
Yeah, I don't know how they get away with it. It's a bad look on them,
I'd say.
Anyway,
I'd say.
All right. What is this? 40% of it is a no. Okay, what is it? I have a bunch of. Here's a stat. Where is it?
Stats with Howard.
I got a stat here, but now I can't read it.
So. It's your own handwriting that you're looking at there?
Yes.
Okay.
Stupid. Here it is. Halloween candy. 47% of Canadians say they will not be handing out candy tonight.
Wow. Why?
That's where we're at now.
Why, though?
I'm getting to it.
Is it price or objecting to the Spirit's arrival?
Yeah, here it is. Canadians split on handing out Halloween candy this year. Polls suggest that more of a quarter of Canadians will spend $100 or more. I don't have the answers.
What?
Yeah.
$100? Wow.
Yeah.
You must get a lot of kids at your door.
The poll suggests Canada, on average, Canadians spend $67.65 on Halloween-related expenses.
Oh. I think last year we got 3 kids, but Delise walked in last night with a box of that candy, the little chocolate bars, and it'll sit there and end up on my ass. You watch.
Yeah, you'll... it's a great question. Why? I don't know. It just says that Canadians split on handing out 40... Anyway, a lot of people will not be putting out candy, is what this says.
my neighborhood is a lot of South Asians people, and the evolution of that community and I don't even like to say becoming Canadian or becoming, you don't even know what to say, but it used to be that a lot of the South Asian community, number one, they never had dogs. Now I see South Asian people with dogs all the time. When they were buying homes, they didn't want pools. Now they do. And I'm seeing more and more houses in my neighborhood now being dressed up for Halloween. Mm-hmm. So it's people becoming, they're not familiar with things and then become entrenched and go, oh.
It's kind of fun.
I want to do that.
It is fun.
Mm-hmm. I remember as a... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I remember as a kid, and I don't know about you guys, but we made most of our Halloween treats that we gave out, like popcorn balls and stuff like that. And
taffy apples.
Yeah, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then whenever we got packaged candy, it tended to be like especially chocolate bars. That was a higher. It's like, oh, that was an expensive one there. And you go through it and see all those.
Yeah, but Dan, when you were a kid, Halloween, there was actual real witches.
We just burned a witch last week. Kind of thing, yeah.
When you were a kid, out in Salem, there, you guys just would you would just burn a witch on your lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Witch.
And you didn't hand out candy. You handed out like churned butter and shit like that. Here's a slab of butter.
Yeah.
No, we did not make our. We didn't make our Halloween candy in Moose Jaw. Although when my kids were little in the Oakville matrimonial home, Halloween was a big event with the dads on our street. There's a bunch of young fathers. And a bunch of us would go out in a pack, say 4 or 5 of us, and we would just walk around with beer like travelers while the kids trick-or-treated. And some of the people in that neighborhood did go pretty crazy in terms of the type of things they gave out, especially to the kids that they knew, including my kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Melanie was reminiscing this week, Melanie, my daughter, that we had a bench in front of the house here.
Yeah.
And I used to dress up like in a plaid shirt and oversized jeans and have some straw coming out of the bottom of my legs. And I'd put a hockey mask on and I would just lay on the bench like I was like a scarecrow or something. And then the kids would come up and look at me and just think, again, it was just a scarecrow or something that had been thrown on the bench. And then I would move and scare the living shit out of them. Oh, memories.
I wonder if anyone's...
Huh?
Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm not...
No, because I said, I wonder if anyone's ever shit their pants. Like, because they got scared. Mm-hmm. Like, they were so frightened that excrement spewed from their poo hole. Has that actually ever happened, Dan? Have you ever shit your pants out of fear?
No. I don't ever remember peeing my pants out of fear, which would be more of a likely thing. How about you?
I don't know. I mean, the whole thing seems unlikely. I don't know. But somebody must have, because we've used those expressions. He laughed so hard he pissed his pants, or was so scared they shit their pants.
Yeah, I think pissing your pants is a lot more likely than shitting your pants.
From laughing?
Yeah. From laughing or being frightened or something.
All right.
Say you have a full bladder of urine and somebody scares you. It's like, oh, that little muscle lets go.
Get a little dribble.
Yourself.
Get a tiny dribbling.
I think your sphincter is a lot stronger than your piss flap. I'll look into that.
Yeah. Don't get too technical. Yes. Listen, Dr. Patterson, don't speak. Try not to speak too high over our heads. Yes, as you can see here, the sphincter is a lot. It's a lot stronger than the piss flap. This is the piss flap over here. This is the piss flap here.
Oh, boy.
Can you imagine Dad's piss flaps like?
Oh, Jesus
Christ!
There is an election going on in the States. It's Halloween today. There's
I know. There's more.
The World Series going on.
Yeah, we got all
we are
that.
Talking about piss flaps.
You guys want to hear?
What's wrong with that?
Well, we're trying to be a variety show. This is a variety show. Here's another number that came up earlier in the week in my research, and I would say that if you have any misconceptions, or if any part of you still thinks that the legacy media, the mainstream media, is where most people are getting information from, maybe this will be a nice segue down to politics. There was a thing I found. It says there are 27 million paid content creators in the U.S. So we'll just say, and would be a 10% number, there's 2.7 in Canada. 44% of those 27 million paid content creators make a full-time living from social media. U.S. advertisers shelled out $26 billion to influencers last year. And what I found interesting about this is twofold, threefold, whatever. Number one, so if there's 27 million people creating content online, and half of those, or 44%, is like 12 million or so, are making a full-time living. That is the media now. Because there's not those numbers of people creating mainstream legacy media. Combine all of it. Newspapers, radio, television, broadcast, cable. Those numbers are astronomical. That means most people, or a good amount of people, are now receiving information. That is the media. Your thoughts?
Well, it's just frightening because none of that is regulated. None of that is controlled. And that's what makes me laugh now when people talk about mainstream media. You don't know what to believe. And, you know, I mean, we attack Fox. People attack CNN or MSNBC or Canadian papers and everything. Oh, you don't know what to believe in the mainstream media. What? Compared to what? Compared to the alternative? Are you kidding me? Because anything you read online, even if it looks like an official newspaper article, may not be. You know? So you have no idea. And I was just reading this morning about just on X, this asshole, Elon Musk, what he's doing. You know, and I said to Howard before the show, what's wrong with this guy? Like, it's just evil. Like, how do you turn evil like that when you're a person that brilliant or smart or responsible enough to become the richest man on earth? Like, what happens to you? And it's just most of the stuff on X now, he just lets go. You have no idea what's true or false. Nothing. No idea.
Well, and I when we were talking about it, I said, you know, there's got to be, because what would his motivation be? It's got to be something. There's something, and he's motivated for some reason. He thinks a Trump presidency and him and Musk part of the administration will benefit him. Somehow it has to, because he's not doing this because he just one day, you know, became an evil, like he's like the villain in a Bond movie.
Oh, absolutely. I know. You're right. It's like we talked yesterday about what's Bezos' first name? I'm sorry.
Jeff
Bezos. You know, owning the Washington Post or whatever and not endorsing Harris. He didn't endorse Trump, but he's just afraid. He is afraid for his company, his empire, if he gets on the wrong side of Donald Trump. And, you know, this is what Donald Trump has done to the society. You know, I'm reading about election workers now. They're all being told, they're having meetings saying, if this happens, if you're threatened, and it's all from that side. It's not Democrats threatening poll workers. It won't be Democrats in pickup trucks that pull up to polling stations that they think could go either way. It's all them, and they're all there because of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
What he's done to that country, I mean, forget politics, just what he's done to the country as far as security and the decency thing that we keep pounding, it's just awful. And part of it, too, is guys like Musk. It's guys like Bezos. They're deathly afraid of being on the wrong side of Donald Trump if he's elected. What does that say?
Again, this is not our official Trump segment.
No, I
know. I'm just trying to be funny.
The Musk segment.
But back to the original premise of people making money, social media being the media. Mm-hmm. If you think about it, so there's 27 million people, half of which are somewhere near 50% are making a living disseminating whatever content. And that's content, everything from cooking demos to political-based websites and media accounts, whatever. Think about this, though. if there's 27 million of those content creators, how many hundreds of millions of people are only getting their information now from that side of the equation? And you brought up something that I've actually mentioned a couple times when we've been talking about social media. And that is this. You know, here in Canada, we have the Broadcast Standards Council, we have the CRTC, we have broadcasters self-regulating, and on and on. There's all these guardrails that exist so that you can't just, you know, the old cliches, you can't yell fire in a crowded theater, but you have to have checks and balances. And so you kind of made my point for me, which was going to be that there are no checks and balances. And in a world where there are none, then what has given rise is a world where nothing is believed.
No.
And you know, I know what you're saying about what Trump has done, or what the movement of Trump, the MAGA movement, has done. And as I also have said a million times, the greatest thing that Donald Trump ever did was he took the Nazi handbook about discrediting the media, and I mean it's brilliant. If you look back, that's the thing he did. He made them all mistrust what they were hearing and seeing. Which is also by the way, that's also Orwellian.
Yeah. The most bewildering thing is after all these time, there's still people falling for it.
Yeah.
Like, you haven't figured it out yet? Like, are you kidding me? And, you know, Howard, a lot of those people, influencers, the people that generate content online, a lot of them are paid through sinister means. Like, there's lots of people putting Trump stuff out there being paid by the Republican Party. And don't get me wrong, there's people being paid by the Democratic Party to put material out that don't necessarily work for the party. They're not a politician. They're totally detached. They're just very good at messaging, and they're paid. And it's happening here in Canada. I mean, they've uncovered it. You know, the Conservative Party of Canada, you know, are paying people in their basement to just throw bullshit out there.
And I'm sure the Liberal Party is too.
Yeah.
Like, everybody is doing it.
So, you know, and they uncovered that thing. All those guys, you know, was it the guy from, I don't like, you know, Barstool Sports, whatever that guy's, you know, they know they're being paid by the Russians hundreds of $1,000s a month to create content.
No, it wasn't Barstool. It was some other sites.
Was that other guy?
It was the other guy.
I shouldn't have said that.
No, I mean, but yeah, there was that story again. It came and went. It was in the news that, you know, all these right-wing influencers were being paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a month from sources they didn't really understand.
But one thing, the power of Elon Musk, listen, prior to all this guy was admired by so many people just from his brilliance and his mind and what he'd produced. And, well, I don't even have to tell you. So there's how many millions of people, when they go on X or they go online, and it's coming from Elon Musk just immediately because they admired him so much, think it's true.
Again, the plot of every you know, sort of evil empire, evildoer. Like, he is the classic villain in a one of these movies. Dan?
Yep.
We are going to have to do emails today at some point.
Good.
And there will be an official Trump corner because we're going away for 3 days. And when we come back, of course, next week, it's our big week of election coverage. But,
right. Yeah.
Did you see that thing I sent you? I can't remember what it was, but I sent you something I thought you'd find amusing. I'm not sure if you're going to do it for the...
yeah.
What did I send you?
I think in part that's already been done.
Oh, yeah, okay. It was an update about people stealing butter.
Yeah, a cheese update.
Okay.
Oh, butter, right, yeah.
It was a butter update,
okay.
But... yeah, do you have anything else on this, Freddie, or should we move on?
Oh, no, I think we've covered it. You know, I don't want to bring everybody down.
It's too late. It's too late. Can't afford to stay. I'm still stuck on how do they get away with? How does the Marriott get away with charging you $2,000 a night for a hotel room? I can't believe it. That seems unbelievable to me.
Yeah,
sorry.
Got to be a law. Got to be a law.
Well, I don't even know if it's true. How do you know it's true?
Well, I got it from the mainstream media, so who knows?
Been verified.
If I were Marriott, I would get ahead of that story. If I were them, I'd say, no, we're not charging you 6 times. They can't do that. Mm-hmm. Anyway. And
well, again, that would apply a few years ago, but nowadays, like, can't it? Who knows?
When Dan comes back, and we're going to do these emails, there's quite a few. But in honor of Halloween, I saw something. It's the scariest Canadian. Scariest
Canadian. Wow. I can't wait.
No, it's the Stats Canada has highlighted some of Canada's spookiest place names. The scariest places in Canada in terms of their names. So we've got that to look forward to, Dan.
All right. Okay. I can't wait.
And this whole garbage story. The garbage man, Donald Trump. Donald Trump. He's gone. He just left.
He can't wait to leave.
I looked down. He's gone. Donald Trump, the garbage man. I've got that clip I was playing before we signed on.
Yeah, he should have got in the back of that truck where he belongs.
Did you see him trying to get in the truck? Have you seen that video?
Yeah.
Where his leg doesn't work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, I did think, and again, I thought, he's old, he's fat. How's he going to get into that truck? And I was surprised that he actually did without help, to be honest.
But he missed. What's weird is that weird thing he did with his leg. Like, if you watch the video, he's clearly... Yeah, he's a big, fat, old man. Let's do a little work here, though. Well, you know what? It's not work. It's the joy that we have these sponsors that support us, so let's support them.
Okay, tonight, it's Thursday night, so the NFL week begins with the Houston Texans at the New York Jets. Of course, we're pulling for Houston because we can't stand Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't mean to speak for everyone.
Oh, you can speak for me. I didn't like Aaron Rodgers.
Believe it or not, pardon me?
I didn't like Aaron Rodgers before he went to the Jets.
Yeah, bit of a dickwad. Anyway, minus 135 on the Jets. I'm surprised. That's the money line. I'm surprised the Jets are favored in that game, but I don't know, because Houston has a much better record. Jets favored by 2 points in that game. Whether you're a sports bettor, horse racing fan, a poker, casino player, Bodog, your number one source of online gambling entertainment. From their industry-leading odds, world-class sportsbook, to their fully loaded casino and racebook, they've been providing Canadian players with an unparalleled gaming experience since 1994. And we should mention that last night, Dodgers win the World Series. They were favored to win it. They win it in 5 games. Last night in Game 5, they're down by 5 runs at 1.5-0, and ultimately win the game 7-6.
Right on, man. Mm-hmm. Right on. I think that's pretty universal that, you know, if you're talking to a lot of baseball fans, most people hate the Yankees.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm looking here, Frederick, under the latest news releases. There's a licensing process update, which is pretty interesting, because I just looked over here. This is as of last week. You want to find out what's happening with this company, Boron One. And there's the thing I find fascinating about it is there's always something going on. It's not like this thing is stagnant. A lot of junior mining companies never get to this point where they're figuring out how to get this boron out of the ground, and they're on the precipice. And go check out this pretty lengthy licensing process update. All it means is things are happening, and once this mine starts to produce, it is going to be producing more than just boron. It will be producing returns for those people that have maybe, like yourself, checked out Boron One and made an investment. Again, Freddie and I make no claims about what do we know. You know, what do we know? We're talking about piss flaps and sphincter strength. Mm-hmm. That's where our. You know what? If you want advice about doing a comedy-based, news program, comedy-based news program now?
Whichever so often brings you down.
If you want advice about that, we're your guys. But at least have a look at this company that supports us, Boron One. And do it by going to boron1.com. Did you, speaking of sports, did you see that story about the Canadian kid who's like the tallest teen in the world?
No.
Yeah. 7'9", Canada's Olivier Rioux is world's tallest teen and an intriguing basketball project. A freshman at the Niblets Gators, the Florida Gators.
Wow.
He he's a basketball player, 7 feet 9 inches tall.
I wonder if his buddies call him Tiny.
Yeah, maybe. Mm-hmm. I didn't wonder, but now I won't think of anything else. He's so tall he can dunk without jumping. Just moves his hand and
Wow.
just dunks. Oh yeah,
Crazy.
he's 7 feet 9 inches.
That's big.
What's almost 2 feet taller than you?
No, I know.
You're 5'9", right? 5'10".
Yeah, around there. He's got to. He's. And I wonder at what age he, where it became difficult to buy him a bed. I think of those things.
He was.
Think about that.
Well, yeah, a very interesting question. Mm-hmm. Because he was, according to this story, he realized at an early age he was different. He was taller than most of his teachers in elementary school, crossed the 6-foot mark by age 8.
Oh.
Topped 7 feet the summer before 7th grade. His mom is 6'2", his dad is 6'8", and his older brother is 6'9". Yeah, imagine that though. You're by grade 8, you've topped this, or by age 8, you've topped the You've topped the 6-foot mark. That's crazy.
It's interesting too about very interesting.
Everything is interesting.
In referencing tall people in a different way than we do little people. Like there's an insurance company right now that has a commercial with a bunch of tall people, like taller than their houses or whatever, giants, so to speak. And I'm thinking they would never do a commercial like that with
little tiny people.
Tiny people.
No.
It's just, I've found that a bit. And we talk about this kid. Would we talk about this if it was somebody who was super tiny? I don't know.
Anyway, no, yeah,
it's just one of those things.
I'm sure tall people feel like they probably feel prejudiced against. They feel like, hey, and this kid, I'm reading the story. It's fascinating. Reading this whole story on CBC Sports, and yeah, people at the campus at Florida Gators campus. I'm sure that's not what it's called. I'm sure it's called something else. But walking around from class to class, he's already he's like a celebrity. People just want their pictures taken with him, and not just because he's a basketball player, because he's 7 feet 9 inches at 17.
Do you have a picture of him there?
The only picture they have on the story, and I guess I could look it up, is just him from the rim down, looking as he's taking a shot. The basketball rim, by the way.
Sometimes those giant type people look a bit sickly. But you listen, when that guy is...
What do you mean? What do you mean they look a bit sickly?
They look gaunt. You know what I mean? They look a bit awkward.
Well, anyway. No, they definitely look a bit awkward, like their head is giant or something, but he looks pretty normal.
Okay. But I'll tell you, an 8-year-old at 6 feet, you don't think he's self-conscious? Like, that's got to be hard for a kid like that.
Oh, yeah.
In many ways. Although I don't think anybody would want to tangle with him, but still, being that much taller than everybody else.
Yeah, there's a picture here of him on a basketball court with a normal human being. Yeah, he's massive. 7 feet 9. That's crazy. All right, just a little side. Just just a little side. We went sideways for a second. We do have our emails. Are you ready? Do you have them? You have them ready?
Yes.
We got a lot of them. And who did you say that liked this segment? Our friend Jamie, the costume guy. What did he go again? He was what was his costume?
Bob's Burgers.
Bob's Burgers. Okay.
Yeah, I've never seen Bob's Burgers. He said he hadn't either. It was his wife's idea.
There's I think a lot of things. A lot of men can relate, and I'm sorry if this sounds sexist. A lot of men can relate. We just do things because women in our lives told us to. It's true.
No, absolutely.
I find that.
Hope there's a lot of women telling their husbands to vote for Kamala.
Kamala. Okay, here we go.
Hi guys.
This is subject matter. That will be the end of Trump talk. And PP and Tony Clement. This is from Bill Carver. And he says, Hi guys. Because I'm a civilized human being. He says, I love the Trump talk. I think it's very important. We agree. Like you said, he's such an impact on the division and the emboldening of many people. It's just a different world when he entered the political picture. He said, imagine telling yourself that John Kelly, Mark Milley, James Mattis, Mark Esper, and Mike Pence are all lying to you. They're all lying to you. But a twice impeached business fraud, convicted felon, let's not forget the sexual assault, convicted felon who paints himself orange and rambles about sharks, batteries, and golfers' dicks is telling you the truth. That pretty well sums it up.
No, absolutely it does. Great job, Bill.
Yeah. And he goes on to talk about Poilievre being an arrogant individual who will not accept anybody challenging him. He's so, you know what I mean? Again, there's that Trump light shit. He says, I was somewhat disappointed in Tony Clement, who, for the most part, is a decent person who could not equivocally say, you know what? I think my vote would go to Harris in this case in light of what Trump would do to the world for another 4 years. But we hashed that all out.
Yeah, I think we
He said, look, even the Cheneys have gone to the Harris side. He says, peace out, guys. Great discussion as always. Thanks for the Zoom Theater shout out. That's Billy Carver.
Great job, Bill. And thank you for your service. Here we go. Subject line, Dan's the man. This is from our friend Sean Martins. And he says, of course, hi guys. And then in brackets, because I'm still human. Do you see what's happening now with the listenership?
Yes.
They're just getting very creative, as we knew they do and they can and they would.
Yes.
A lot of the emails now have some version of, because you're not an animal, because I'm still a human. Sean says, it's been a while, but I've been wanting to message you for some time. Even though I had a busy summer, I made it a mission to listen to your podcast every day, or at least 3 days a week. But now I get to enjoy a 4-banger. Just saying that gets me excited. However, I did get to see you guys at Stonehooker for your interesting ale launch. And it was great seeing you in person. And there's a nice picture of you, I, and Dan, and Sean. And he's in a wheelchair. I mentioned that because the rest of the email is he says, I did want to mention that after listening to Monday's show, I thought about Dan needing to help pull in his dock. And that's not a euphemism. He was actually, we were talking to him about getting his dock out of the water. He says, that's not a typo. I meant dock. But hearing Howard mention that if Dan really was unable to do it himself, like being in a wheelchair, for example, Fred would then head up to help him. But of course, Dan being the man that he is, Howard went on to say he would probably rig up some kind of winch. And that got me thinking about when I jerry-rigged or MacGyvered my power chair to plow my driveway.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He says, I thought I can probably use that to help Dan out. And it's a picture of Sean's wheelchair with, it looks like to me like a snow, like he's got snow, not snow tires, but like treads on a,
right.
And then in front, it's a plow.
Wow. It would have enough power to push snow, eh? Wow.
It's pretty impressive, Sean.
Right.
So, Dan, he says the offer still stands, so to speak. If you need some help, I'll come up to do so. Either way, like Fred said, you'd figure it out. Anyway, guys, it's great to hear you as usual, and it's great to be inspired by men like Dan Duran. Till next time, Dan Duran. He says, until next time, all the best. Heart rate 58. Bowel movements routine. Regards, Sean Martins. And we say regards right back to you, Sean.
Hi, guys.
Subject matter, photo memories from Justin Deverons. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Because I'm not a time traveler from 1867.
That was one of my favorites. There's been a few this week, but that was a good one. Thank you.
He says, listening to your Tuesday show, and I have the perfect thing for all of you. I use an app called Mimeo Photos. Runs nicely on the Mac. It allows you to create picture books and calendars easily from your photo libraries. Then you just pay the fee and they print it professionally and ship it to you. You can easily add captions and change each page's layouts. Absolutely love it, and I've made several for my family members to remember family vacations, etc. Not a big fan of Apple Memories, Facebook Memories, as it sometimes, Apple/Facebook Memories, as it sometimes brings up old pictures that don't stir up fond feelings. Bowel movements, awful. Trying Metamucil into normality. Blood pressure raised since I got back to work. You guys are my reason to get up in the morning. A lot of us drag ourselves into jobs we cannot stand, as Fred always says. Cannot wait for retirement. That's from Justin.
I think his name is Deverenis.
I said Deverons.
No, I know you're being very because you were being very continental.
Yes.
Well, that's great, Justin. Thanks for all of that. Where do we go next? This is from Jeff Lewis.
Hi, guys.
And Jeff says the subject line is Bannon is frightening. And he just goes with the old school greeting. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Jeebus, the vitriol from the recently released Bannon is just downright frightening. Yeah, I saw some of that. It was, again, as we've said many times, why is it that everyone around that universe is just creepy and fucking weird? And
I don't know, man.
Like they all are. I mean, everyone from Giuliani to like all the women in that universe and all the people that support them in media. Anyways, Jeff goes on to say, example, this is a quote from Bannon. We're going to deliver a knockout blow to your progressive insanity on 5 November, and then we're going to secure the deal after that. And then he finishes it by saying, I'm begging now, pace yourselves, approaching 70. I think he's talking to the two of us, and Dan too. Something weird has been happening lately near that age. Ha 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 ha. Says
like
Jeff
what?
Lewitt. I don't. Maybe that's referring to something we talked about. I don't know. But yeah, that whole universe is just one miscreant after another, and it's just. You've said this to me as recently as the other day. We were talking about like no one in our universe that we know, no one that we're friends with, no one that we respect. I can't think of anybody in that universe that I respect anymore.
No.
That has come out
again, we know a couple of peripherals, but I have no time for them anymore.
No, but I'm talking
because
about
of this.
Yeah, I'm not talking about just our personal lives. I'm talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger came out yesterday with a long statement of support for Kamala Harris. Where's there's not one of those. Like, it would be like, imagine if Arnold Schwarzenegger came out yesterday with that statement and it was in support of Trump. You might go, well, there's a guy I respect, so maybe there is something to this.
Yeah, there's none of those. Because you look at Kid Rock, I mean, last image I saw him, he had a machine gun shooting up cases of Bud Light. Nice guy. Hulk Hogan, like, come on, are you serious? What is that? Tucker Carlson, Dahl said to me the other night, there's certain indicators, you just said it, no one sort of in our universe or of any decency supports Trump. And somebody like Delise, who's really never ever been into politics, but has been drawn into this just from the decency factor. When she saw Tucker Carlson the other night on that stage, she said, I almost feel sick to my stomach. Literally sick to my stomach watching that. And yet there are people, you could go online today, that think Tucker Carlson is great. Where does that come from? Where, like,
Yeah, lots of
because
people.
again, there's no right and wrong. He's just a sickening human being. Like,
but
he
that's
just
to
is.
us. I mean, that's the part that I struggle with too, because I spend, as you do, a lot of time ruminating on all of this, and not just as it relates to Donald Trump, the candidate, but as it relates to that universe. And listen, there's lots of people that have differing opinions than me and you.
Sure, absolutely.
And I can respect it to a point. I mean, I don't always understand other people's points of view. I mean, that's human nature. But, like I said about the example of Schwarzenegger. Like, where is somebody, point out someone that you would sort of in the mainstream of the world go, oh, yeah, I kind of get that. Like, I don't know. Like if Bruce Springsteen was to come out and go, guys, I've thought about this, and for the sake of our country, I think Donald Trump is the way to go. And you go, wow, okay, maybe I should look into that.
And it gets back to what we said at the beginning of the show, too. You've got these big business guys where outside of Trump, you would think, wow, they're smart guys, built these companies. They might be on some kind of a line of normalcy, but now they're going that way just to protect their empires. And even that is sickening. So,
well, this is why they say that this last 10 years, and there's always been a divide in U.S. politics, Canadian politics. It's not like this just happened.
No.
We tend to have short memories as human beings for, I can go back to the vitriol that was thrown at Stephen Harper, or the vitriol that's thrown at, Jean Chrétien. But the last 10 years has been unique, it seems, because of the millions of people on social media. Listen, I can't remember. Is it your turn or my turn?
Yeah, it's mine.
All right, here we go.
Hi, guys.
Subject matter, commuter. And this is from Bill Chaput. He goes, hi, guys. 2 hours per day, 5 days a week equals 10 hours. 50 weeks per year equals 500 hours. Divided by 24 hours a day, that's 20.833 days. This is a conservative estimate for me. I commuted from Ajax to Brampton. I retired 10 years ago at 53 years of age. As soon as I reached 30 years service, I quit. Anyway, it was seven years in Ajax, 23 in Brampton. I remember thinking about this when debating whether I should retire or not. To drive it home. That's a play on words. Just picture yourself sitting in a car, staring out the window all day, all night for 20 days per year. It's insane. Regrets, not really. Sure, we don't have Hummel and Fred money, but we are surviving. Best regards.
Yeah, that's in regard to a story I had about the number of hours, and that's why I thought. Is that from Bill? By the way,
yes.
Yeah, I thought when I should put. As soon as you said his name, have we done that before? Shabut.
Oh yeah.
Because it makes me think of that immediately. Shabut. Anyway, I went to it was a story I had about 199 hours is the average amount of commute here in the big city, and I thought it was low. It sounded low to me.
Jesus. Wow.
I was coming home yesterday in the afternoon, and everything is fine. I left Milton, and it said I had about a 40-minute ride to get home, which is fine. I was a little bit further away than I normally am, so normally it's 35 minutes. So I saw right away it said 40 minutes. And then I could see on the screen as I got closer and closer to the 427 and the 401 that you're in trouble whether you're using Waze or Google Maps when the time starts to get more, like it increases.
Oh, yeah.
And I could see as I got to the 401 and 427, I could see the line start to turn red. Mm-hmm. And I got to the top of that intersection there, which is about 15 minutes from my house. Mm-hmm. It's just 15 minutes, and I saw the thing. It started saying 25 minutes, 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and I sat there. Well, you know how close that is to here. It took me almost 40 minutes.
Yeah,
just sitting there because of something that happened well into the city. By the way, Freddie.
Yes,
like it was all the way down that ramp onto the Gardner, all the way into the city because there was 2 lanes blocked somewhere further into the east end, not the east end of the city, but further east of me.
Yeah. Crazy. Well, something similar happened to the Dollywogger last night, driving home from Kitchener. And, you know, I used this term a little earlier. Attitude is everything. This is another great indication of that. So she's driving home from Kitchener, usually 55 minutes if she waits till 7 o'clock. Well, there was a fatality accident on the 401, closed both directions. So she was rerouted. So that 50 minutes turned into almost 3 hours, I believe.
Unbelievable.
Right? And
Yeah.
if that's me, like I'm like probably shifting in my chair and trying to look up the highway.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to figure out ways.
Trying
And
to
then
go
she
around
walks-
it, yeah.
She walks in and I said, "How was that?" And she said, "Well, not bad." I said, "What do you mean not bad?" She goes, "Well, nothing I could do about
That's
it,
right.
so it was okay."
Yeah, she
I
walked
was
in.
like, "Oh."
She walked in, had a great attitude, and she put her keys in a place that she would be able to find them.
She said, "I just put on a podcast. It was fine."
I have, I've definitely calmed down a lot in traffic. And last night was just one of those things. And that's how I thought to myself, this is just one of those things. I was listening to a podcast. I was getting hungry because it was late in the afternoon. I was getting hungry and tired. But I will, so what Tesla has done is, a couple months ago, they gave all Tesla owners a free sample of the full self-driving, which I've had before. I've used it before. And I can tell you, I put it on full self-driving last night, and I never had to touch the pedals again until I got through the traffic. It was fantastic. And it's a little thing where you're just no longer having, it takes that stress of going, starting, stopping, takes it out of the drive completely.
Wow.
And makes it more relaxing. I'm just telling you, it was definitely a difference.
Isn't that something?
It is something. And to think that fucking wacky maniac is somehow responsible. All right, here we go. We got a lot more to go. This is from John Latimer, who says, subject line, comment. This came a week ago. In commenting about last week's shows, he says, "Hi, guys."
Hi, guys.
Because he's from this planet. He says, "Great week of shows. Your bit about the trailer park workers hauling Dan into the woods to fuck him in the ass had me spewing my coffee out of my nose at the grocery store." That's right. Another great Humble and Fred moment. He says, "I had to pull my earbuds out and continue listening to your show when I got back in my car. Thank you for making me laugh out loud. I so needed it." Then he goes on to talk about the situation in the States. And he says, "If that hulking, diaper-wearing fat fuck wins the election, I will never set foot in his," to use his words, and he has the best words, "in his shithole country again. Fuck him, fuck his supporters." And then he finishes by saying, "Hugs and kisses to Humbly and Fredly. Keep me spewing coffee out of my nose." And that's John Latimer, Fred.
A normal, decent human being. Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you, John. John, appreciate you.
Hi, guys. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
The subject matter here is non-alcoholic talk on October 29th show. This is from Daryl Hawk. And he says, "Hi, guys."
Hi, guys.
He says, listening to the talk today about non-alcoholic drinks had me laughing out loud. Fred saying he felt dirty pretending to like the products from that sponsor years ago. Dirty. I remember seeking out their IPA beer, as I often try the products of your sponsors to support the show. If the guys say it's good, then it must be good, I thought. Don't think I got through one beer and ended up throwing the remaining cans down the drain. Horrible stuff. Now I understand. Guys need to get paid. Great acting job, though. I was convinced, obviously. Stay strong. No vitals today. Sorry. And that's Daryl Hawk from Barrie.
Well, we like to. I don't know what to say about that. We were trying. It was a tough time for the company. We needed the money. I don't know.
Well, not only that, everything's subjective, Howard.
That's right.
One man's, wine is another man's goat piss. What can I say? And
yes,
that's the deal.
I believe. Who was the first to say that? Was it Churchill? What? Right. But we can honestly say that all the people that are supporting us and over the years have supported us, I mean, we weren't lying. We were saying, listen, this guy thinks it's good. And
Who are we to argue?
who are we to argue with it? All right. Anyway, enough said there.
Hi,
This is
guys.
from
Hi, guys.
Richard
Hi,
Bullis.
guys.
Subject line is Oculus Golf. And of course, he says, hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Because he's a good person. Hey, Howard, says Richard. I've never been a gamer, but over the last 2 winters, I've been playing Oculus Golf, which is a virtual reality golf with my buddies. We meet on the weekends, play 18 holes, famous courses. It's a lot of fun, says Richard, and we can talk to each other while we play, even though we're all in our own homes. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, so he's got like a... Oh, I didn't. I thought it was a simulator. No, it's actually a virtual game. Just wondering if you've tried it out. No, actually, I haven't. But he says, cheers and God bless. I apologize, Richard. At first, when I first read that, I thought you were talking about you guys go and play simulator golf. But he's playing it like a golf game, like a video game.
Well, what do you call it? Oculus?
It's called Oculus Golf.
So what does the word Oculus mean? I don't
No
know,
idea.
and I'm not embarrassed. And you're the wordsmith. No.
Well, I don't know.
Oh.
I think it's the name of a company.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Oculus is a. It's a virtual. Here it says Oculus Quest 2. Oculus sounds like it's a virtual reality headset that you can play and have. What I was going to comment on, and now that I realize it's not what I thought it was, is the proliferation of virtual, of simulator golf leagues. Since COVID, post-COVID, there has been more like this. There was this huge influx or whatever, a surge, I should say, of golf interest around COVID. 30-40% for a couple years. But what happened was not just people going to golf courses, but people going to play simulator golf through the winter. And some of these, there's just a few years ago, there might have been 1 or 2. There's just dozens now around the city. But I have not played virtual golf, Richard.
These those Apple or whoever makes them, the goggles you put on, you can watch even television on them.
Yes.
I heard the sporting, especially the NFL experience, is amazing because even if you're in your basement, right, and you got a big screen television like 70 inches, while you're looking at it, you can still see the edges of the TV, the frame of the TV. But when you have these glasses on, these goggles, it's just like being at the game because there's no real perimeter.
Right.
It's just like if I'm at the stadium and I'm looking at the field, I'm not seeing a frame of the TV. I'm just seeing sort of a panoramic expanse. And apparently it gives you the feeling of sitting in the stands. I'd love to try it. I really would.
Yeah, these when Apple came out with their virtual reality headset, and maybe Dan knows more about this, but I remember when it launched, and this wasn't that long ago, within the last half a year or somewhere in the last time, it was pretty expensive, like $2,500, because it's like having a computer on your face.
Right.
But like everything else, at some point it will come down where consumers will be able to afford it.
Yes.
All right, we've got a couple more to go, so let's get through it.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Subject matter here, Italian restaurant in Brampton, for Fred. And it's from Daniel Hayashi. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
And she goes on, she says, this is more for Fred, as he was speaking about Italian restaurants in Brampton. When we lived in Brampton, we used to enjoy Antica Osteria on Mayfield Road, east of Huron-Ontario. Food was always tasty and service was good. We haven't been since before COVID, so I don't know if their food has changed, but they may be worth checking out. Danielle, Hundy P. since Voldemort. Yes, I can address that. Delise and I have tried it. I think we've been there 3 times. And the problem is consistency. You know, you want consistency in a restaurant. First time was good. Let's go back. It was okay. Third time, let's give it one more shot. Not enough to want to go back. That's my experience with that restaurant.
Was it similar dishes? Did you have the same thing? Did you have something else?
I can't remember offhand. I think I probably had the lamb chops once and a pasta another time. But, yeah, just not the experience that would make me put that sort of top of mind when I'm going out.
No, I get it, man. I get it, my friend. You know, there's a lot of places out there if you're going to spend money, and I'm not talking about $100 steaks. Here's we.
Hi guys. Hi guys.
Do you have one left?
Yes.
Okay, so I have two left, so that makes sense. This is from our friend Paul Stockton.
Hi guys.
Subject line SNL. And of course he says, hi guys,
Hi guys.
as he knows how the game is played. What Howard neglected to mention in his reminiscences of Saturday Night Live is that he would not have seen it when it premiered because Saskatchewan didn't get cable TV until 1978. He says, cheers. I know him. Paul, OG, non-Hundy P, listener since CHAB days. Paul is the guy from Saskatchewan, and he has been listening to me and probably Dan on the radio since 1977. So let me address this. I don't know, Paul. I know one thing. Maybe, you know, as a recollection of Saturday Night Live, maybe a lot of it is through that weird memory thing where, you know, you think you were there, but you were just something you saw on TV. He may be right. We didn't get cable TV until 78. But somehow I didn't go 3 years without ever having seen Saturday Night Live. There's just no way.
Yeah, but in Moose Jaw, didn't you get the
CTV.
networks?
Yeah,
Well,
CTV.
didn't you get the networks from out of the
No.
what state? What state is south of you? I forget.
North Dakota.
So you didn't get anything out of there, like no?
He's right. We wouldn't have. We didn't get NBC, ABC, CBS, but somehow I would have seen Saturday Night Live somewhere between age 15 and age 18.
Yeah, but a lot of Canadian channels always pick up American feeds. You
Well, that's
probably
what I'm
saw it
saying.
on one of the Canadian channels.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this for a couple of days. Thinking, well, where would I have seen it? So somewhere in that period of time. But listen, Paul, we appreciate you. Paul Stockton
Calling Howard a liar.
I mean, or misremembering. Lying is different. Believe me.
No, I
was going to say lying is what we did with that wine and beer. That was lying.
Yeah.
Do you see the subtle difference?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Okay.
I do.
Yes, this is just a misremembered memory. The other stuff was just, what'd you call it? Goat piss. All right.
Hi guys.
Here we go.
Hi guys. Hi guys.
Subject matter, Noel Kasler. This is from Steve Bratton, not Steve Bannon, Steve Bratton.
Bratton.
And he says, hi, guys.
Hi guys.
Just wanted to chime in to say how refreshing it was to have Noel Kasler back as your guest today. He's so insightful. We can only hope that he's right about the Hispanic vote due to the Tony Hinchcliffe performance. I hope it's enough to rid America of the orange buffoon. Blood pressure 129/70. Bowel movements always a challenge due to my bout with colon cancer 14 years ago. Oh, ouch. What would that mean? Always a challenge due to my bout with colon. What some people go through, Howard,
maybe
we
it's,
can't even begin to imagine.
Talking about seepage.
Oh, I don't know. Anyway, he says, hey, Dan. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Get a colonoscopy
Hey,
already.
Dan.
And that's from Steve Bratton.
Danny.
Not Steve Bannon. Steve Bratton.
Yeah, Steve Bratton. I have one more. This will be our last one.
Hi guys. Hi guys. Hi guys.
It's from our very good friend Jennifer Kelly. And subject line starting 5. She doesn't go through all the hi guys stuff because she's like it's like a Jedi thing. It's implied. It's
Hi guys.
starting 5. And here's Jennifer is one of the few. A couple years ago, we said, hey, if you want to send us voice messages, that's cool. Jennifer,
Hi, guys.
there she is.
What a glorious day. Wednesday today. Hope you're enjoying some golf, Howard. I just wanted to pass along a Netflix series to you guys. I know that neither of you are basketball fans, which crushes me because I am the world's biggest basketball fan, huge Raptors fan. My son plays prep ball. He's hoping to go D1 next year. Anyway, it's my life. So I know, Howard, that after you watched the football docu on Netflix, you became a football fan. Why don't you try Starting 5? It is absolutely excellent. It's so well done. So it's key basketball players, LeBron James, Jason Tatum, Anthony Edwards, Sabonis, and Jimmy Butler, my favorite. Anyway, I highly recommend it. I hope it inspires you guys to get into basketball and really appreciate these guys and the scene in basketball and how amazing it is, and see what Bill has to think about it too. Maybe he's watched it. Anyway, all is good. Hope you're great, and have a happy Halloween.
That was very nice, Jennifer Kelly. Very sweet. Appreciate that. Starting 5. I'll check that out. Check it out. Dan,
Yeah.
would you write down the name Sean Martins?
Okay.
And just check that against your database of Zoom Theater honorees. But I'm going to find this. I put it in the trash. But this kid, Sean, who's in a wheelchair, we met him at the Stonehooker thing, has rigged his wheelchair, Dan,
I heard that.
into a snowplow. I'm going to send this to you guys.
Gotta love that.
No, it's quite, fellas. I'm going to send it to you right now because it's really very interesting. Here, have a look at this, Fred, Dan. Yeah, check this thing out because you'll be able to describe on the where the wheels would normally be, or it's almost like a tank tread. You know what I'm talking about? It's crazy.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Anyway, he's our Zoom Theater honoree today and for next week as well.
Right on.
All right, boys.
Let's do some business, Howie.
Yeah, man. Hang on one second. No. Okay. Here we go.
Tim Niblett is a portfolio manager. Raymond James, a member of the Canadian Investors Protection Fund. You heard Tim on the show yesterday talking about, interest rates going down and how can you profit, and touched on several points. And again, I'm not going to repeat them now. Go back to yesterday's show if you missed it. Again, more valuable information, on your road to building wealth and retirement. And don't forget, Tim is, the standing offer. If you have a portfolio and you want someone to have a second look at it, Tim or Sherpa J will have a look and give you an assessment. You take it from there, no strings attached. He's the Retirement Sherpa, retirementsherpa.ca.
You guys see that picture yet, Dan? Did you have a look?
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. The caterpillar tracks, or whatever you call it.
That's what that is.
Right.
Instead of the wheels, it's caterpillar tracks. Wow.
That looks like a tank. And he's somehow jerry rigged. Is that what you guys say? Cool guys? Somehow he got the snowplow on the front of his wheelchair. And he says, Dan, it's great to be inspired by men like Dan Duran.
Well, I'm glad I'm bringing inventiveness and passion to the world.
Oh, yeah, you're doing that for sure. You are definitely doing that.
Yeah.
Listen, I've got a little business to take care of here. Oh. Do you know this song?
And recognize that there are ties between us.
James Taylor. This appeared in a television program that I was watching, and I didn't know that I'd ever heard it before. And I went and looked it up that it was a James Taylor tune.
Together in our desire to see the world become a place in which our children can grow free.
This is just a song about goodness and people being nice to one another.
Part of a TV show, you said?
It was just someone else was singing it in a television program. I liked the song, so I went and looked it up.
Right.
To see, it was actually Amy Mann singing a version of this song, but I didn't realize it was a James Taylor song, and I'd wondered if you two, Dan or Fred, had ever heard of it.
It's funny you mention that, because on that note, not the day before yesterday, I've been starting to watch this British series called Slow Horses. Have you heard about it?
No, sir.
Yeah.
With Gary Oldman.
Oh, yeah, no, didn't Bill Brio talk about it?
Maybe. Anyway, the theme song is a song called Strange Game. And I'm thinking, that sounds like Jagger. And then I do some research. Mick Jagger wrote and performed the theme song, and I fucking love it. It's like a great Stone song. It's called Strange Game.
I'm getting it.
But yeah, and I'm thinking that's pretty cool. You got a TV show and Jagger writes the theme. Not bad.
I want, and I'm going to play it now, but I want you guys, because I'll tell you, that James Taylor song is definitely
Nice.
campfire material.
Surrounded by losers, misfits and boozers, hanging by your fingernails. You may
Yeah, this doesn't sound too much like Mick Jagger.
burn that mistake. You're finished, you're foolish, you fail. There's always a hope on this slippery.
Well, let me tell you a story about Wing Night. That's happening tonight at our favorite place, Kelsey's, the original Roadhouse. Stop by for half-price wings and $6 Coors tonight. Get them sauced up your way. There's never been a better time to wing it. And speaking of time, twice a day, they have happy hour drinks. That's twice a day, every day, between 3 and 5 and 8 and close. You get draft beer, wine, and mixed drinks for only $5 during happy hour. Apps are only $10. That happens at Kelsey's, the original Roadhouse. So much great food and so much good times. So much good time? So many good times. So, good times. Great taste. Must be legal drinking age. Please enjoy responsibly. And these specials apply to dining in only, obviously. Visit kelseys.ca or your local Kelsey's for details.
What
great.
threw me when I heard that is I'm thinking that sounds like Jagger, but would Jagger do this like for a TV show? And yes, he did.
He did it specifically for the show, or it was a song he had they used for the show?
No, from what I understand, he got involved and was sort of commissioned to do it, if I'm not mistaken.
Isn't that cool? That is very cool. Dan?
He's 81.
Is he?
He's 81. They were touring this year.
Yeah. The song that plays over the opening credits of Slow Horses is Strange Game, a song written specifically for the show by Mick Jagger. Cool, eh?
It is cool. And while this is playing, Stats Canada highlighted some of Canada's spookiest place names. In a place called Blood Vein, Manitoba, Coffin Cove, Newfoundland, and Passes Dangereux, Quebec. That's all I have on that subject. Oh, no, there's more. Skeleton Lake, Alberta, Dead Man's Island, BC, and Malignant Cove, Nova Scotia. That's more like a medical thing. It's fucking.
What was that one vein? What did you say?
That's Blood Vein 12.
Oh,
That's actually the name of the place. Blood Vein 12.
wow.
Yes, I know. That's Dan's nickname.
No, I was going to say. Blue Vein, that's the sister city of Dildo, Newfoundland.
That's right. Dan's Blue Vein. Dan's Blue Vein 12. Oh, Dan, come on. Let's just have a little fun before the week's over.
Go crazy. Yeah.
Did anybody ever use that term around a blue veiner?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, you haven't asked me, speaking of which, you haven't asked me about my broken wiener.
Oh, right. How is your Peyronie's disease?
It just seems fine, you know. I haven't gone for the ultrasound because I was waiting for the golf season to be over, and now I think it is. But I haven't had the
lump. Have you had the lump measured or anything? No.
Well, I've done some measuring on my own.
So is there still a lump there? Is it still happening?
Yeah, it's still a little bit of a lump, sure. Yeah,
It's going down,
Dick
though.
lump. Well, you know, it's hard to tell. You know, I really don't. It hasn't been bothering me, and I will tell you, function-wise, it's working just fine.
But I thought you said there was a little bit of discomfort when you had an erection. Is this not true?
Yeah, you know, but you know the thing about erections is once you get them, it just seems to take your mind off everything else. You're like, yeah, I'm in pain, but I got a bone. I got work to do.
So is this thing like directly above the peni? Is it?
No, it's at the base, Dan. It's at the base. It's well into the base.
Underneath then.
Toward the underneath part, yes.
Oh, toward the. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it noticeable?
Only if you are looking for it. Only if you're feeling around down there. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
But no, it doesn't make. There's no curvature of the peni.
Can you feel the lump more when you're flaccid or when you have a blue vein?
Also, a very good question. I think it's no difference, really. Although when I do have a blue veiner, I'm not really working. I'm not really feeling around for lumps, if you know what I mean. I'm feeling around. I'm like, quick! I have a boner. We need to use it.
Quick before I lose it.
That's right.
Oh,
Quick.
look, it's deflating as we speak.
All that's left is some lumps. All that's left. Exactly. I'm doing some
Dan,
great
don't
work.
you know how to laugh?
That's a great question, Dan. Is it
Why
really?
do I find that so funny and you don't? What's the matter with me or you?
Well, I'm medium. I laughed. I chuckled.
Oh no, that's not the
as
kind
hard
of.
as
That's not the kind of entertaining that Dan Durant enjoys. I know, Dan. You know what it is? We're just too infantile. He and I, our combined ages are 133 or something. But you're more mature than we are. I get it.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
You are, Dan. You're a different strata. Hey, when you hobnob around theater guilds, you can't be stooping to this type of
No,
cheap
absolutely.
humor.
Dan, that is absolutely the truth. Are you ready? Listen, let's get to some serious business.
right.
Let me see. Did I get it? Yeah, we haven't done any. We haven't really done, any Trump stuff. Really, I mean, we had a little bit of a Trump thing there, but just for Dan's news, is there any Trump stuff? Yes, I know we have to do that. Is any Trump stuff in the news, Dan?
Not my news. I mean, there was stuff. He made some comment about defending women.
Oh yeah.
Even though his staff told him not to defend women.
No, his line was, and you know me, I will defend women whether they like it or not. That's what he said.
Oh my God.
That's what a convicted rapist says, right? Okay, that works.
That video of him getting in the garbage truck. I mean, listen, it's a joke, but it's not a joke to those people, the MAGA people, and what they've done. I mean, in the world of politics, for 3 days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, into Wednesday, Tuesday-ish, all the story was this rally where somebody called Puerto Ricans garbage, and then they let out old Uncle Fuddly Dudley, the fucking president. I don't know why they thought it was a good idea to have him say anything. But there was Joe Biden. Hey, fellas, garbage, they're garbage. And he's stumbling through, and it was a great reminder of why he shouldn't have been the candidate. Mm-hmm. But that little thing that he said, I'll tell you what's garbage. His supporters are garbage. Now, he says he was talking about the supporters of a comedian that he couldn't name. But obviously, he was talking about the supporters of Trump. And the fucking prick of it all is that became the story. And it's smart. If you were a GOP strategist, that's what you would do. Mm-hmm. You would have your candidate put on a orange and thing, whatever that orange vest or a protective. Mm-hmm. What is it called, Dan? A protective, a safety vest.
Safety vest, yeah.
And they would have a garbage truck with a Trump sign on it. Mm-hmm. And the whole right, media all up in arms about, can you believe that he actually said it? Well, of course you can believe it. Trump has said Trump has said garbage 1,000 times, but it takes one little misstep by the Democrats, and that's all they're fucking talking about now.
Not treated equally.
No, they're not.
Yeah, and by the way, there's this controversy about him getting into that garbage truck where he sort of floundered a little bit just before he opened the door.
Oh yeah,
and there's people talking about him, his spatial awareness, that he may be having some sort of dementia thing, which
But they'll say there was something slippery on the step and blah blah blah, and just something else.
There's this phrase they call it like whataboutism. So and it works on both ways, but it always seems to be skewed against the people that are on the side of the righteousness, of the freedom. Mm-hmm. Here's just a little bit of audio of that fellow, Donald Trump, saying that people are garbage.
And it's not her, it's the people that surround her. They're scum. They're scum, and they want to take down our country. They are absolute garbage.
A total piece of garbage.
Garbage.
Garbage. Garbage. Talking about garbage. 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 Talking about garbage.
I'd love to be nice, but I'm dealing against real garbage.
Garbage. Garbage.
Garbage.
Can I use the word garbage?
Garbage.
Garbage. She's scum. She's garbage.
This scum. This garbage. Pile of garbage. First.
Anyway, it goes on like that for hours. So there's old
And we
Joe.
all-
Yeah.
Yeah, and we all know what Biden meant. And again, and I'm not making excuses for him. Just be logical about it. He meant the people at that rally or the people that surround Donald Trump. That's what he was talking about. He didn't blanket like all his supporters. I mean, it was unfortunate, and he could have used a better word. But sometimes, use some logic and some rationale, and we know what he was talking about. It was so frustrating.
But Fred, even if he was talking about his supporters, it's not like Trump, as we just heard, hasn't said the same thing 1,000 times. It just doesn't. That's what bothers me the most, I think, of the many things that bother me. They're not playing by the same set of rules. They don't seem to apply the same.
Howard, I saw a thing on Fox News the other day, and I'm sorry, it's a guilty pleasure because I just scratch my head and I think people actually watch this and eat it up. What kind of a fucking pea brain are you? They had this story that 85% of news stories about Donald Trump are negative and 73% about Kamala Harris are positive. And I'm going, okay, because almost 100% of what comes out of his mouth is negative. 85 is pretty good. So tell me some positive things. Show me some positive things the guy has said. Everything he says is negative. He hates this person. He hates that person. This person's after him. An enemy from within. Like, that's his whole shtick is negativity.
Yeah.
So you're surprised by that? Meanwhile, she's going like, Joy and I want to work together and everything. Well, that's sort of positive, that message. And again, just adds to the frustration of the media and the spin and everything. Like you, I just want this to be over.
That woman on the...
I heard an interview the other day from the guy from, I think it was
Okay, go ahead, because you just came in a little bit late there. Go ahead.
Sorry, the connection here.
Yeah.
I think it was the guy who started PolitiFact. He's no longer there, but he said that the number of stories that Republicans tend to lie more than the Democrats, and that it's statistically they actually lie more.
Yeah,
as though both sides, but yeah, they do it more. And by a substantial amount. There's lots of deception and stuff going on that side. You'd think that they would be equal, but no.
I mean, it's been documented that Donald Trump has lied more. I mean, documented lied. Tens of thousands of them. And I heard this yesterday. It might have been on one of the liberal podcasts that I listened to. And they were talking about he's might be the greatest liar in the history of the world. Here's that woman on Fox, what I was getting to, the woman that's on the 5, the liberal on that show. Just summing up a little bit about the candidate.
But I really need everyone to spare me the faux outrage and the pearl clutching about this.
About garbage.
A little collection of things that Donald Trump and high-ranking Republicans call liberals on a daily basis. Anarchists, anti-American, deranged, communists, corrupt, compromised, groomers and perverts, thugs and traitors. Now, she was explicit that she was talking about a subsection of the Republican Party the same way that Joe Biden is when he talks about these MAGA extremism. But you tell me, if the leader of the Democratic Party, so that would be Joe Biden, was facing 4 indictments with 91 felony counts, he had been found liable of sexually assaulting a woman and defaming her. That's E. Jean Carroll. Guilty of fraud, sharing the nation's secrets, not only in the Mar-a-Lago indictment, but there was a report yesterday from ABC News that he had shared information about our nuclear submarine capacities with an Australian billionaire who's a member at Mar-a-Lago, who had then gone on and shared that with dozens of other people. Ended up making a purchase, I think, of 3 subs. It included specifics up to how many nuclear warheads they carry and how close they can get to Russian subs without being detected. And then I told you, so all of that is happening, and he's shooting up in the polls. And when you see those interviews of Trump supporters outside of the rallies, They're like, none of this is true. It's the big lie. He won the election, etc. And you wouldn't say to me, you guys are in a cult? It's actually tame what Hillary Clinton was saying.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton said that Trump supporters need to be deprogrammed.
Yeah. Well, she's right. She's right.
I think it's interesting that they let her, or they allow that point of view on Fox. And I did a little, there was an article, I guess Julie sent us, about how the other people on that panel view her. They really like her. Like Jesse Waters and the judge and fucking Greg Dickface. They actually, off camera, they really respect her and they really think she's, like, they're all friends.
Yeah. Well, I know that. Even like that Scott Jennings on CNN and then Van Jones, you can tell they're buddies. Like, they respect each other. And again, you got to remember, right? Sometimes people are paid for a point of view.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? It's not even necessarily their passionate point of view. It's to come up with a point of view for counterpoint. It's all just so involved.
Well, before we get to Dan Duran's news here, Fred, why don't we play a little bit more of your man Jagger here playing a Singing Strange game, and we'll talk about the Chamber Plan.
Yeah, the Chambers of Commerce Group Insurance Plan, Canada's #1 group benefits plan for small business. Become part of the Chamber Plan, your small business, and, there's different levels you can buy into. But again, prescriptions and dental are usually top of mind with a benefits package and maybe some travel insurance, some therapies. But again, it goes much beyond that. There's an HR component. Yes, you can tap in to get advice on what to do with certain employees, how that thing works. And then there's a mental health component. Again, in real time, people can reach out and get some help in a time of crisis. Fantastic. And then the teledoc system. Say, you got an elbow problem, right? Maybe some dentist's elbow. Well, you can use the teledoc system to reach out directly to someone, a physician, a specialist who can help you with that. That's the type of thing that goes on within the Chambers Plan, and you can be part of it. Go to chamberplan.ca.
When Toronto Mike joins us, did we make a mistake with the Zoom theater naming? Were we supposed to make it Michael Parker? Yeah, he's saying right here on Facebook, I'm pretty sure it's Michael Parker's turn. You know what? We can't remember from week to week. Here, well, let me see what Mike has to say. Because you know what, Dan? We might have to do a combo. We may have to combine
the Sean Martin
Michael Parker Theater.
Well, this isn't like it's the last week ever of the show.
It might be
one this week and make the other the next.
But
week.
I think is it Mike that we've been saying for 2 weeks? It was supposed to be Michael Parker's turn.
Last Thursday, Michael Parker wrote a love letter to Dan Duran, and I said, I can't believe that didn't get him naming rights. And then you said, Howard, next week it's Michael Parker's name. And then he was there. He sent me a message. He's very excited.
Okay, well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to postpone. Well, either we do both Michael Parker, Sean Martin's. And I don't see why not, Dan. No, you don't like that, Fred?
No, I think, given the situation, give it to Michael Parker, and then all next week, the other guy can look forward to his name.
Now, wait a minute. Sean Martin's, it looks like I have him down in my list in one of my earlier guys. So
okay,
so Sean Martin.
He's already been.
Well, that's why I asked you to check your extensive database.
Well, I didn't think it would. I didn't see it at first blush. Yeah.
By the sound of it, this could be a revenue stream. We could charge these people to have their names on the show.
Yeah, what do you think we could charge them? Come on, I'm curious.
$50.
$250. No, for a week.
$50.
Mentions $250.
Oh, hang on a second, Mike. This is why you're not in sales. People are not giving. We need more than $50. $50. Okay, well, you know what? We'll take.
And we definitely didn't do Michael Parker before. Okay,
all right. Well, I'm glad that we cleared that up. So, yes, Sean, you were going to be honored, but you've already been honored, and once honored, there's a 2-year waiting list to be honored, to be re-honored. Okay,
right.
All right. Let's get to this then. Let's get to the Dan Duran. Oh, hang on a second. We can't have that. We can't have two things playing at the same time. And by the way, a mouse wouldn't solve that. I want you to come and show me how a mouse would solve the fact that something was playing on Spotify and I had to go to a different page. Okay?
How dare you buy him a nice present?
It's, you know what? It's a beautiful present. It's sitting right here.
Yeah. Obviously, I don't have to buy you one this year.
Oh no, buy me another mouse this year, so I have 2.
Now, here's to a fella named Dan Duran, a hell of a guy with a hella big wang, the quintessential anchor man. His voice is nice and low. Dan Duran, the anchorman comes. As for credentials, he has none. Can't tell a headline from his bum, but his voice is nice and low. Dan Duran, the anchorman's here. He's prone to falling off his chair, but he's got a big wang, so he don't care, and his voice is nice and low.
My voice is nice and low.
And now live from Lakeside, Dan Duran still doing the news from his fancy pants trailer condo in the Kawarthas. With news, views, and other things, here's Dan Duran. Dan Duran, the Dan man. Okay, Dan.
Right. Okay. So, hey, the Trudeau government is coming down on the right side of the tracks. According to CBC, there's plans that will be announced shortly for a high-speed link between Quebec City and Toronto, and that'll be coming in the coming weeks. I guess the thing was they announced back in 2021 a high-frequency rail corridor with stops in Toronto, Peterborough, Ottawa, Montreal, Laval, and Quebec City. Now they're talking about maybe making that a high-speed train, which you'd think if they're going to build a new one, why wouldn't it be a high-speed one? And if it does get built, it would travel at 300 kilometers per hour, and that would make the trip between Toronto and Quebec, Montreal would be, I think, 3 hours instead of the 5.5 it takes to get there now.
All right.
So speed things up.
And what was that number again?
Imagine that.
How much money?
I don't have a number.
Well, I thought I saw a number. It's like several billions.
Well, yeah, anything
billions
roadie
and billions.
yeah. But it's about time. And at some point, we got to start doing some of this work instead of spending the billions on highways, spending the billions on, I'm sure other people in the show would agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Yes, public transit is just pitiful.
So we got to start building.
This city has the worst. You know, people have said this. It's why we have the worst gridlock in the world, because we have the worst public transit for a city this size, not just between Toronto and Montreal, but between Toronto and Toronto.
Oh, yeah. It's funny when you go to major cities and look at their subway grid and then look at ours. It's funny. Like, you go, and I know London is London, but all these big cities, you look at it and it's like a, you know what I mean? It's this network of tunnels and everything. Here, ours is one line this way and one line down that way. It's funny.
It is.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Oh, well. Dan, great reporting. Thank you for that.
Thank you. That would be great, though, to see an actual rail link that works. My son takes the rail between Toronto and Montreal often, but one of the things, it's not, you have to pull over every once in a while to let the freight trains go by. Because it's their tracks, they have the priority. So this corridor would be different in that it'd be their own tracks.
Well, even the intercity rail system that we have is antiquated. I mean, I just thought about taking the high-speed train between Venice and Florence, and just how amazing it is, and how, you know, like, I took the train from Paris to where Lumbee lives. Like, it's fantastic.
Yeah. So when Colton comes to Toronto or Oshawa, wherever it is, from Montreal, what would that cost for a ticket, Dan? Do you know offhand? Because I heard rail's not cheap either anymore, is it? Or
no, apparently if you book on Tuesdays, that's the best day to go with Via. And I don't know the exact cost, but it's probably about $100.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, great work. Toronto Mike is here. Oh, I haven't. Hang on a second. I'm all Toronto Mike theme. I got to get his theme. We can't actually talk to him officially. I mean, you can talk to him. You can talk to him unofficially. I mean, you can have a conversation with him unofficially, but if you want to have him as introduced on your program, you have to have his theme. Here he is, our producer and longtime friend of this program. The reason we're all here today is because of this fellow.
Toronto.
Shout out to Ill Vibe, the composer of the Toronto Mike theme song, Ill Vibe. I want to do a wellness check on you guys. Can
Only
I do
good
it really
vibes,
quick?
by the way. Only good vibes coming your way. All right.
A wellness check because it's week 2 of your 4 bangers, and I'm just
It's a lot
checking
of
in on
bangers,
each of
man.
you. Like, how are you feeling? Do you want to keep doing 4 bangers?
It's a lot of bangers, man. It's a lot of bangers. That's what I think. What about you?
Oh, no, I'm good with it, given the season. 'Tis the season. I mean, what else are we going to do? Seriously. You know, in the summer season and what have you, it's a little more active and obviously even more so for you, but at this time of year. So what else would I do today? I would have got up and sat there and read the paper and had a coffee.
How about you, Dan? Are you
I'd
okay
rather
with
do
the
this.
Are you okay, Dan, with an extra banger?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just got to get used to it and get my brain. I can't lock my gear in a car and lose
No,
my keys,
Danny.
kind of thing. That's what
No.
So if we did, like, if it was a 3 banger, that wouldn't have happened today. So
Yeah,
gotta reflect on it that way.
So what you're saying is you'd like the option for a 4th banger, depending on whether you can find your keys or not.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hey, you know
I'll
what,
phone
Dan?
you guys up and say, we can't do this.
You know what they say? That's a valid point, Dan. That's a very valid point.
Yeah.
Dan, how is that project coming along?
I'm 1/3 done right now. To be
When it's done, send me a picture. I'm anxious to see what that's going to look like. Dan is
All right.
skirting someone's trailer, and he's an expert at it. So,
yeah. So
I'd like to see that.
Okay.
Hey, Boone, you've got young kids. What are they dressing up as? What are they going as we used to say?
I literally just took a photo of them by the tree in front of the house. So Jarvis, who's 10, he's like a gnome, a garden gnome.
Nice.
And he's got a white beard, and he's got the hat. It's actually really good. Monica helped him with that. And I don't know the name of this character, but there's a popular show called Demon Slayer, and my 8-year-old daughter is a character from Demon Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember her name, but she looks amazing too. So it's like an anime character, but this is like 8 and 10 years old is prime. Like, this is the biggest day of their lives.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
unbelievable.
It's something
It's
called
magical.
Demon Slayer. Is that age appropriate for an 8-year-old?
Well, the 8-year-old loves it, so I hope it is.
No,
but,
listen to the preacher, son.
Demon.
You can't go as a demon. What about the Jesus?
Right. You know, well, quick note too. I watched all of the World Series. I love playoff baseball, and I watched the World Series. And there's this ad for Jesus. Like, it comes. I was watching.
No,
the Fox.
I've seen that. I've seen that.
But it scared the 8-year-old. Actually, it's funny that we mentioned Demon Slayer because
So it should.
Yeah.
it was frightening. And then I'm like, what is this for? And it's like, it's for Jesus.
Yeah.
And what's their play on it? It's the us part, the G's us or something.
Yeah, I've seen
That's
that.
the spin on it or something. Yeah.
Was it an actual
Creepy.
commercial?
Yeah, it's an actual commercial.
Creepy.
It's like
Creepy.
It's a scary commercial.
yeah, it's it's very interesting because it's almost like, what is this product? And then you find out the product is Jesus. You're like, darn. I mean, does Jesus really need commercials? Isn't he doing well enough without commercials?
Was it like a lot of fire and brimstone kind of stuff?
It's people fighting. No, it's more like angry people.
Yeah.
Like fighting, and then it's really kind of frightening. So a lot of people, listening to us watch the Sportsnet feed, and then you get the Canadian commercials. But I like the Fox WUTV Channel 29 feed, which is the American feed, but that gets you the U.S. Buffalo ads.
That's right.
The other one that's frightening though is a very anti-trans ad that Trump runs about how Kamala is for them, they, and Trump is for you.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And it's super gross, man.
No, I love that. Because you send your kids to school like at 8 o'clock in the morning. When they come home at
That's
4, they're
right.
different
They're
sex.
different sex.
They've had a sex change operation.
And
his peanut brain fucking followers believe that.
Yeah, I was going to say, of all the things that's come up a bunch of times on my feed this week. Of all the things that he has said and can be said in a political campaign, the fact that he continues to say that kids go to school and come back with in a different sex, and it's like, no, even the people in MAGA world, even in, as you say, their peanut-sized brain, even them, don't they have to go, well, that doesn't sound like a thing that could happen in the modern world?
Well, Howard, I have to sign off if the kids are going to go walk around the block in their Halloween costumes.
Exactly.
I got to sign off on this.
Yeah, like what? Don't you need a note from the school if you're going to go on a trip? You don't think the school would need to send out a notice? Oh, by the way, tomorrow your son is scheduled for trans surgery. Just FYI. Fuck.
No, I know.
Mike, do you have a lot of kids come in your neighborhood? Come to around your neighborhood?
Yeah, it's very, very busy.
And what will you be
6 to 8? It's going to be constant.
What will you be serving?
We've got these boxes of the Nestle variety pack or whatever you get.
Okay. Yeah.
And we get a few boxes of those, and then I eat half of them, and then half go out. And then if I have to I'll have when the kids come back with a bag full, I'll recycle the crappy chocolates and the candies. Like the stuff I don't like will go back out to trick-or-treaters.
Nice.
So I got a system.
Oh, wow.
You know, those little
Do your kids know they're recycling?
Well, they will when they listen to this episode of Humpty and Frank.
Oh, yeah. This is the one.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know, when we were kids, I mean, those little chocolate bars, they were special when we were kids. Now they're the norm. Because remember those Kiss candies and you know, those
rockets.
Yeah, all
Tootsie
that
Rolls
shit.
as well. We're sort of
or raisin. Do you remember the boxes of raisins?
Little boxes of raisins,
not chocolate covered.
Well, this ties into a final bit that I have for you. It's a very Boom 97.3 bit. The most popular. I can't even do it anymore.
This is a top 5 list.
Well, this is the most popular Halloween candy, Fred. Would you like the top 10?
Yeah.
I'll go through it quickly. Sour Patch Kids 10, Mars Bars 9, Coffee Crisp 8, Snickers 7, Starburst 6, and the top 5, Dan. Kit Kats. Why don't you give me a little? And now here's Howard with the top 5.
And now, the top 5 candy bars.
Number 5, Kit Kat. Number 4, Peanut M&Ms. Number 3, Crispy Crunch. Number 2, Skittles. And the number 1 Halloween candy, Reese's.
Number one.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good, but I'm just surprised they're number 1.
Yeah.
Coffee Crisp at 8 is just tells me this is a terrible survey. Come on, Coffee Crisps are the best.
No,
am I right?
I'd say Kit Kat is.
Yeah, you know what? I don't
they're
think
both top 5.
My favorite was Crispy Crunch. In fact, those are the ones with that are sponge toffee.
No, that was Crunchy.
Oh, Crunchy. Yeah, okay. That's that. I don't see Crunchy on here. That to me is my favorite, and that was the one. To Mike's point, I would take those out of the kids' bags and forget recycling them. They were just mine. That was the tax you paid on being a child in my house.
What about
Mike?
What about Big Turk?
No.
Big Turk.
Oh, I used to like Big Turk, but it's not as much as Crunchy Bar.
Big Turk.
I see it too much.
You know, Mike, do you sort of ration their treats over the next several days, like only so much a day? Because I know that's a new thing. When I was a kid, my parents never did that. I could eat it all the first day if I wanted, then it was gone. But I know this ration thing, like you can only have 2 bars today. And
no, you can't let them go free reign on.
Yeah,
you
we
can't let
did
them
that.
raw dog that bag of treats.
Yeah.
I even did this with the 22-year-old because it's like even the first set of kids going back.
No, we did that with our kids. You weren't allowed. You brought your candy in. And you were allowed to take some. There was an amount you could have, but you couldn't just fucking raccoon that shit and start fucking eating it.
Well, it's just different eras, right? Like, I understand that's a responsible thing to do. But back in my day, it was like, yeah, I could eat it all that night if I wanted. The first thing, honestly, we would get it, especially back in the day, you'd get a lot of apples, too. Like, Jesus Christ, really? An apple?
Oh, yeah.
My mom would pour it out and check it for razor blades. No kidding. This is back in the 60s.
No, absolutely.
Never happened.
Yeah.
No, I know, but she would check it for razor.
All it took,
my mom sent me. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, all it took was one. I don't think there was one person, but somehow somebody suspected. Like, where did that come from? A pin or a razor blade? Like, there had to have been. Was there, or maybe I'll ask it as a question, was there an incident somewhere back when the 1800s, Dan, when you were a child, where somebody put a... Why would you do that?
Guys, actually Google it. There are incidents every so often of that kind of thing. Yes.
I think what happened is that somebody came up with it, and then there's the copycat idea down the road that somebody did. But I don't think there's an actual origin to that. It just somebody made it up.
But everyone's parent. I'm going back to our childhood. Mike, what were you going to say?
Oh, my mom messaged me this week to tell me, be careful for cannabis in the chocolate. This was so I don't know where that's the new one floating around, but I said like bonus, and then she said, yeah, for you, but not for the kids. So apparently I got to watch for weed in the Halloween.
By the way, the least popular on this list, the number 30 on this list of popular candy corn. I don't know.
I love candy corn.
I do. I don't know that I've ever had a candy corn.
What is candy corn? What is
it? Looks like little kernels of corn. There are 3 colors. There's orange and white, and I don't know what the other color is. Yellow, I guess.
Like cattle corn.
No,
I guess.
It's like 3 colored little, look like traffic cones.
No, I don't know that.
Oh yeah, my grandfather
just go
used
look
to
it
give
up.
them to me. Yeah,
look it up.
Maybe that's a Western thing. Do you recall that, Mike?
Not too popular. I sure haven't seen it in forever, but I feel I've heard about kettle corn. Maybe it is a Western.
Not kettle corn, candy
corn,
no,
not kettle corn.
But it looks like kettle corn.
One of the funniest entries in this list, though, is they say suckers are like a pretty unpopular. And it's true. It says, in the end, there will only be cockroaches and leftover suckers from Halloween. Because someone would put a sucker in your sack, and you'd be like, yeah, I've got no time for suckers.
Somebody put a sucker on your sack. Oh, sign me up.
Hey, sign me up.
There were 4 kids in my family. We used to trade at the end of the whole thing.
Oh,
We'd lay it all out. I would, like obsessive compulsive, like categorize everyone, so that all the
interesting.
Similar things were in a pile, and then we figured it out.
Did you ever put a sucker on your sack, Dan Duran?
Okay, the show's pretty much done.
No, it's not even.
We're
it's not
going
even
long
close
today.
to over. Well, we're going long because we started late, and
5 minutes.
Well, that's a lot.
Why were you late? What did I?
Dan couldn't find his keys.
Dan couldn't find his keys. And we need his keys to start this show.
The nuclear codes or whatever.
Dan has the codes.
Yeah.
I don't think Henry is well represented at number 11. I used to like Henry.
That's a good bar.
It is a good bar.
Is that an American thing? Because we have arrows and we have things they don't have.
It's from Vancouver. It's a Vancouver-based article.
Well, there may be an east-west divide on that, too.
Maybe.
Because there's things more
Smarties? Is Smarties on there?
Smarties is on that list, Mike.
Those little boxes of Smarties, yeah. You just put them in your mouth all at once and just let them melt in your mouth, yeah.
So, Dan, no answer on the sack sucker, so we're going to move on.
It's time to move. Time to move.
Listen, thanks to everybody. Thanks to everyone that emailed us. We're going to make things right for Michael Parker. We don't want anyone to be upset. Next week on the program, what are we doing?
We got Bill Brio returning for his monthly on Tuesday.
Nice.
And then that's election day, so I know you guys are excited. And then on Wednesday morning, Tony Clement returns to talk about what the heck happened on Tuesday night.
Excellent. And we're looking forward to it.
I admire him for that. Because I want to ask him, have you talked to Pierre Poilievre, and did you talk about the Nazi rally? What did Pierre think of the Nazi rally? Just
if I may, in defense of Tony, I can't believe I'm doing this, but the man receives money from the Poilievre campaign, so he can't endorse Kamala. Like he's got a conflict of interest, is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, but she's American, he's Canadian.
Yeah, and remember, let's keep in mind that Tony Clement comes on our show and takes a lot of flack. Our listeners, and I think the fact that he's coming on and the fact that he's a good fellow and he's a friend of ours, let's have him, and his opinions are his opinions. But remember, we also have access to this guy who is a little bit more on the inside than we've ever been.
Yeah, no, I know, but he can't come out and say, I don't want Trump to win, because when Pierre Poilievre wins, this will somehow cause him grief on that side of the...
Won't.
People will pull that clip and play it.
I don't think so. I don't think Trump and Poilievre and Kamala Harris, or it's all a different universe. He can say whatever he wants.
No, it's okay. Well, I think when they're both in power, let's say Trump wins and then Poilievre wins, I think this soundbite of Tony saying, "I hope Trump loses," is going to cost him dearly. So he can't have that soundbite.
No, I appreciate all that. I just listen. I'm curious. What did Pierre think of the rally? That's all. Just a question. He can answer it whatever way he wants.
Yeah, well, and it'll be of interest to have a guy with his political acumen the day after. And also, it's good to have a guy like we were talking about how they have on Fox and CNN. They have people with differing views to bring a little bit of a counterpoint.
Absolutely.
Because Fred and I share, most of similar opinions on most things.
Yeah. And the next week, Ralph Ben-Mergui returns, and he does work with the Green Party. So we do represent both sides of the political spectrum in this country.
Represent.
Very much so.
We represent.
Did that weasel Brian Lilly?
Nothing.
Yeah, figured.
Brian
Those guys
Lilly.
Are cowardly.
Whatever.
I sent him a follow-up note about...
fuck him.
They don't want to come in and answer those questions.
All right.
Busy ripping up bike lanes, I think.
There's a nice four-banger. There is a four-banger and a very long show. Dan?
We got another four-banger next week, is that right?
Oh, yeah, we're four-banging right into the... Yeah, we got a four-bang.
Like, can I ask about Remembrance Day? Like, are you serious?
I think we should take... When is Remembrance Day?
It's the 11th of November.
All right.
What day of the week is that?
When
That's
is
a Monday.
That? Is that the 11th this year?
That's a Monday.
We're not taking that. That would be... You know what?
Yeah.
If that was genuine and heartfelt and done for the right reasons, yes. But just as an excuse to take the day off, no, I think that is very, very not nice.
Not nice. Now, it's hard to tell sometimes when it's a bit.
Sorry, that's where I beg to differ, okay? I think that we should take a banger off to remember those that have passed before us. And just sit around and maybe you and I could call each other and just...
Well, why don't we get a road hockey game going?
Well, I'd love to. I'd love to play road hockey with you.
Out in Saskatchewan and Alberta, did you used to get... When we were kids, Remembrance Day, you got the day off school. They don't do it anymore. For whatever reason.
Yeah, maybe.
But we did. And again, it was just a major road hockey game.
All right. Well, maybe we get together and play Oculus road hockey on virtual reality headphones. All right. So at least for the next week, another four-banger is coming your way. And this will conclude, once again, another Humble and Fred show. Dan?
This episode of the legendary Humble and Fred Show was brought to you by the Retirement Sherpa, the Chambers Plan, Or on One, Bodog, our newest sponsor, Ridley Funeral Home, and Kelsey's Original Roadhouse. For contests and comments, we read all the emails, Humble and Fred at humbleandfredradio.com, Humble and Fred at humbleandfredradio.com to tell us you think. And here's something you can do to help us out. Tell your friends, subscribe to the podcast, maybe share an episode, rate the podcast as well. From the Michael Parker Zoom Theater, I'm Dan Duran. And remember, dress up for Halloween if you feel like it. Don't think about your piss flap or dick lump, and enjoy every goddamn day.
Get fresh flow, pulling out jobs and jamboree handouts, 2 turntables and a microphone, bottles and cans, and just clap your hands, or just clap your hands. Where's that?